Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee is dropping
what it is. Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Folks, today in the studio, I've got a real entrepreneur, somebody that's proven himself time and time again. And I'm telling you, you better listen up, pull the car over, get off the treadmill, grab a pen and a piece of paper, because this individual is a true serial entrepreneur. He don't play around. Matter of fact, rumor has it you quit school because of recess. They say you don't play.
Guilty.
Is that correct?
You know.
Folks, Jeff Fenster, the CEO, founder of a bunch of different organizations, but most currently Everbowl, which is a popular kind of, I want to say health food chain, but it's
Craft
more of a
superfood.
Yeah, superfoods. Acai, Patel bowls. What else?
Graviola, acerola, and some other fun olas that I probably can't pronounce.
Dude, so like you go down to Southern California, where else?
Southern California, Arizona, and coming soon to a state near you.
And there's like 25 of these things. He's only been in biz 2.5 years. So obviously he's doing millions, I would imagine.
Guilty.
Millions of dollars, spreading like a freaking virus, spreading like freaking herpes at a freaking hot dog festival. And, or I should say, spreading like herpes at Coachella.
There you go.
And besides that, that's not your only business. So you've been doing an entrepreneur thing for a long time.
Yeah.
We were chatting in the green room. You said since you were when?
Right out of law school. 6 months after law school. Had one job.
Did you graduate law school?
I did.
Did you take the bar?
I did not.
So you're not a lawyer?
I am not a liar. I'm a degenerate entrepreneur.
If you wanted to, you could go take the bar, correct?
If I wanted to.
And that would determine whether or not you understand the law well enough. And if you pass the bar, would you then be an actual lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Now, here's my question. Why can't an individual go take the bar anytime they want to without going to school?
That's a great question. I've got $120,000 of law school debt to back behind that, and don't know why you need to go to law school to be a lawyer, except law school does teach you some analytical thinking, but it's a big...
It doesn't matter what it teaches you. If I can learn it from my father, from my uncles, or from a book, or from watching court cases, or I'm an idiot savant watching Perry Mason, who gives a shit?
I'm with you.
If I can pass the bar and you can pass the bar, you can get a law degree because you went to school. They wouldn't even let me take it.
That's
Why?
correct.
Not fair.
No, it's not.
I know it's not your fault, but I've always thought that. I've always thought, you know what I think? I think, look, people like doctors, lawyers, it shouldn't matter if you went to school. What should matter is if you can pass the exam. So again, if you can walk in, take the bar, and ace the bar, I don't care where you went to school. I don't care how you learned it. You've proven that you've learned it, which should be whether, that should be the test.
I agree. And I mean, as in my professional world, I have a saying, I think experience is the worst prerequisite to start a company, because the only way you get experience is doing. Right?
Yeah.
We were having this conversation earlier, but it's like learning to swim. It's like saying, I'm not going to jump in the pool until I learn how to swim. How are you going to learn how to swim?
It's funny because all of our good stuff, our best material, we have already blown in the green room. All the jokes and shit. No. So, dude, you've been around for a long time. You went to law. You're 36.
36.
Okay. You went to law school. How long did that take you? 8
3
years?
years.
3?
Yeah, I did it in the traditional method.
3 years is all law school is?
Yeah. I graduated undergrad at 21, 3 years, and 3 years of law school.
Damn. And you hung around Meltzer for a while. You kind of grew up around David Meltzer.
I did.
And if you guys don't know David Meltzer, check him out. He's a good dude. He's the Jerry Maguire guy that ran the agency that Maguire quit. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah. He is a big reason why I went to law school, and it was going to be a sports agent, and he's one of my original mentors, and thought I wanted to be a sports agent, but decided in law school that wasn't for me, so I quickly finished school and went my own way.
Well, did you have rich parents?
Middle class. doctor and a teacher.
So what gave you the ability to just go out and wang, dang, 25 locations in 2.5 years?
Didn't start there. Actually, I got a job out of law school at ADP, the payroll company. And my first 6 months, I was the top sales rep in the country, first to make President's Club, big ego, made a boatload of money. And it was January, and I earned a $17,000 bonus, and I had a little daughter and a fiance and a brand new mortgage. I had just bought a house and went to my boss and said, hey, I'd like my bonus. And they said, sure, wait till July. At the end of the fiscal, you'll get it. And I said, no way. 6 months from now, I want my $17,000. And they said, sorry, you have to wait. It's a fiscal goal. And I threatened to quit. And they said, well, there's the door. If you want to go, thinking I wasn't going to go. And my ego was like, they called my bluff. So quit the next day, moved into my mom's house with my fiance and daughter, sold the house, and started a payroll company. And from there,
sans the 17 grand.
No, I did get the 17 grand. They had to pay it to me when I quit.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
That was kind of my mindset. I was like, I'm going to use the 17 grand, and now I'm going to start my own payroll company and go after them and take my clients and basically compete. Let's go.
Well, that didn't work out.
No, it did. It did work out.
ADP, dude, they're huge.
Yeah, well, I built
what's
a
your payroll
successful
company? Paylocity?
No, it was called iChecks, became Canopy HR, and then we sold it in 2010 to a company in Florida.
Did they shelf it or they operate it still?
They rolled the clients under their own. They were a bigger version of us.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was going to be, that'd be funny if you went and sold it to ADP.
I know, right?
For 17 mil.
Yeah, that would.
And then when they cut the deal, you'd say, I can't give it to you till the end of the year. What about the digital marketing agency?
Yeah, so after the payroll business and offices and traveling, my youngest was born, and I wanted to work from the computer. It was 2011, and I figured that's not going anywhere, so I should probably figure out how to make some money using it. And had a lot of relationship capital, had met a lot of different companies selling payroll and HR services, as well as recruiting services with a recruiting company. And so I figured, you know what? I want to figure out how to make money with a computer. And I figured digital marketing was the way to do it. So I decided one day I'm going to be a digital marketer, started my own digital marketing company, and ended up utilizing relationships and finagling cool ways to work with really good people, and ended up partnering with a guy named Patel, which we had a lot of great clients, and was able to do a lot of consulting and worked with some amazing big brands, a lot of the household names that we know today. And it was really awesome for a couple of years.
You know all the big wigs, don't you?
I try.
Now, I don't know a lot about old Neil, but is it the same feller that like Agora and Kevin O'Leary?
Yeah.
And
Not Kevin O'Leary. He was just on the other shark.
What?
Robert
Herjavec?
Yes.
Herjavec?
They just did that new entrepreneur, angels and entrepreneurs, or it's for entrepreneurs looking for investment and investors who want to invest and have access to deal flow. They just came out with this really cool product. Yeah, that Neil.
Oh, is that Neil Patel?
Yeah.
So wasn't he on Shark Tank though?
Neil, no.
Who am I thinking of?
Not sure.
Might be a different Patel. So Neil Patel was your partner in that.
So yeah, Neil was already a rock star.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I know who you're talking about now for sure. But
Yeah.
I thought he was on Shark Tank, but maybe not. That was another Patel that had the SAT prep thing.
Yeah, no, not Neil. Neil has Quick Sprout, co-founder of Crazy Egg, Hello Bar, Kissmetrics. He's an absolute rock star.
Yeah, so like, how did you? I mean, you got Meltzer growing up, you got Neil Patel to bounce shit off of.
Well, I met Neil in a kind of a fun way. So a friend of mine has his name's Pat Flynn. He has Smart Passive Income website, and he's pretty renowned now as well. But at the time, he had just launched this website about making passive income online. And I reached out to him and said, hey, I'll pay you $10,000 to teach me digital marketing. And he's like, I'd love to, but the name of my business is Smart Passive Income, and that's not very passive, is it? So jokingly, he's that was all a joke, but he was like, hey, you should talk to Neil Patel. He's kind of the rock star in this space. And I didn't know Neil, and so I wanted to think about how I could get Neil to want to help me build my brand and learn from the best and be around the best. And so I went out and I sold a 6-figure digital marketing client, called Neil, got an appointment with Neil, called him and said, hey, I just closed our first deal together. Let's meet. And I think just the sheer weirdness of that call made him at least take a minute to get to know me, and we became friends. And it didn't start exactly like the way I was hoping, at the time, but it was great because I got to utilize him as a resource and build my clientele and build my business. And then we started consulting together, and it was awesome. It was a really cool partnership for a while.
Would you consider that or things like that a shortcut?
Absolutely.
So what do you say when people say there are no shortcuts?
I think they're full of shit. I'll show you plenty.
See, there you go, folks. And by the way, I've forgotten to drop the bombs, and we've already dropped quite a few. However, that's an important one. You know how many times people say there are no shortcuts? And I keep trying to tell people, dude, you're full of shit. There are tons of shortcuts. And if you keep telling people there are no shortcuts, you're screwing people.
That's right.
There are shortcuts.
It's like the guy in the customs line when you're walking into customs and there's like, download this app and go through this line. And the line without that app is 10 miles long and everyone's looking at Instagram on their phone. And I'm downloading the app so I can cut everybody and walk through. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're wasting half your day sitting in this line, not realizing that, yes, the word shortcut is not on the sign. You know, sometimes it's disguised in other ways, but there's always a way to get to where you want to go. And waiting and patience is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, we agree on that, my friend. And I can tell you guys, everyone's out there trying to learn some shit. When I keep saying, dude, worry about unlearning some shit first, because that's usually what stops you from advancing. There are no shortcuts. Nice guys finish last. All this other crap that we've heard that's just not true. You know, you're smart enough to say, hey, I'll give you 10,000 to come teach me. That's a shortcut. Mm-hmm. There's mentors out there, and everyone says, oh, you know, especially nowadays with the digital courses and the gurus and everyone, oh, the gurus, you're trying to screw people, especially with Gary Vee. And, you know, he hates all the digital gurus. There are no shortcuts, man. Shut up, Gary. Your dad gave you a $3 million business. That's called a shortcut. Okay. He didn't have to figure it out. He had people. Again, I'm not mad at Gary. He's done a great thing. I'm not mad at Gary. He's a great entrepreneur. But stop telling people there are no shortcuts.
Relationship capital is the easiest shortcut everybody can get.
And I wrote down relationship capital because I want to come back to that, because one of my big things I always say is relationships are the new economy, and people don't know what I mean by that. That's what I mean by that. Like, dude, I get a lot of things handed to me because of my relationships. When I was making relationships, people were saying, what are you, stupid? Just go get this and just go do this. And I'm like, I'm just naturally, I didn't do it like on purpose. I wish I was like this bright guy that knew about it. I just developed relationships. Like, I'm a guy that you either like or you don't. But when you like me, we're buds. When you don't, I don't see you anyway. But right. I just naturally started building relationships. And I think that gave me a big advantage. What do you mean? And I know what you mean, but I want the audience to really understand when you say relationship capital.
Sure. Relationship capital is earning the right to ask for help from people who are in position to help. And you earn that by usually paying it forward first and creating a relationship where it's a win-win opportunity. You're not just taking. So it's kind of like if you think of an ATM machine, if you always withdraw, you're going to run out of money, right? So you have to make deposits. And so like how me and Meltzer came to be so close as one of my first and biggest mentors, even to this day. When I was in high school and all my buddies were all only worried about partying, I was interning for free and saying, hey, I'm going to come work for free with you. Why? Because I want to demonstrate to you, number one, that I'm here and I want you to remember me later. 2, I want to learn from you. And 3, there's so many other people I'm going to be surrounded or meet and be surrounded by that are going to potentially open doors for me tomorrow. And it's who you know in this world is so much more important than what you know. You can always find people to surround yourself with who know more than you. And that's the easy part. So that's why experience is overrated. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out who can help you get there. Figure out why and how you can help them. Once you've done that, you've earned the right to ask for a favor back. And they're going to want to because they love you.
Folks, better pay attention to that, because if anybody ever asks me what's the biggest secret hack, shortcut, double dip and flipper, whatever, to like give me an edge, that's the one right there.
And a great example is take one of the Kardashians. If they endorse a product,
I'd take the youngest one.
Okay, so when she endorses a product, it blows up overnight, right? So if she takes my product and Instagrams it, all of a sudden I'm going to sell out.
Yeah. Now, what if Kylie was your friend?
She would happily do that for me.
Well, she might charge you, but even so,
that's okay.
There's a lot of people that would pay her that she refuses to, because she doesn't know you. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't know you, it's much more difficult. Now, if she knows you and likes you and owes you a favor, now she'll take your money. Yep. It'd still be a wise decision.
Absolutely.
I keep using Kylie as an example because, dude, it's unbelievable how the youngest
billionaire.
Yeah, as a billionaire, smoked them all. Mm-hmm. Smoked past every single one of them. Now, if everybody thinks that's an accident, I'll bet you $1 million it was no accident. You know why? Because they've been learning since Kim.
That's right.
Was smiling on the Home movie. Like, they've been learning learning. You got the Kim, then you got the Chloe's and the other one. What's the other one?
Kim, Kylie.
No,
Chloe.
the one that was married to Disick. Courtney.
Okay.
Yeah, she's personally my favorite, only because she's like, not the too glamorous, but I like them all. Do you even watch the Kardashians?
I don't.
But I hate when people hate on them because, dude,
They're geniuses.
Not only that, but dude, listen, they're gorgeous girls with great personalities, and why is everybody hating on them? My favorite's Kylie though, because she came from behind and just smoked them all. She could buy them all
Easily, and she's also she figured out to create her own. I mean, that product she created is brilliant. Her whole rollout was absolutely flawless.
Yeah, and I don't know her, so maybe she didn't create it. Maybe her mom did. Who cares? All I know is they learned and they just took the final one. Mm-hmm. And if you think back before they were all glamorous and pretty, she was the youngest and probably the least cute. And now look. Dude, smoking hot, billionaire,
yep.
Smarter. I mean, I don't know how smart she is because, again, I don't know her, but that proves to you right there exactly what we're saying. The relationship capital that the Kardashians have, I bet you, is massive.
Oh, it's
Chris.
They can call anybody.
Yeah, Kris Jenner, dude. She can call anybody, mm-hmm. and they probably have done a lot of favors for a lot of people. So I don't know where we got off on the Kardashians, but dude, the relationship capital is probably the biggest, hack, secret, whatever you want to call it, in the world.
Yeah,
and
it's the most overlooked.
And exactly, most people don't take advantage of it. They don't even know to do it. Right. It's like people will call me and they will say, "How can I be of value?"
Well, the first time I ever spoke at a conference, I was talking about relationship capital, and I had about 5 minutes. And I don't dress professionally normally, like a business professional. So I wear a backwards hat. And I showed up to this. It was a business meeting. It was about digital marketing, and it was at a conference. And I showed up with a backwards hat on, these kind of workout pants, and this T-shirt. And I was mingling before my thing, and nobody wanted to talk to me because they all thought I was just the help. While everyone else was in their suits and talking business, and here I am, and they don't realize they're about to listen to me speak. And when I went up there and I said, "How many of you did I reach out to?" And none of you wanted to talk to me because you didn't think I could do anything for you, but you don't realize that now you're sitting here listening to me. So the point was that you're missing out on relationship capital opportunities because you don't recognize that everybody is worth making friends with and getting to know, because at some point it's a community, and they may or may not be an opportunity, a door for something that might help you later. And you missed out on it because you just judged me by a backwards hat and workout clothes. And so relationship capital is something that I stress to everybody who will listen. It's the secret. It's the
more
hack.
hands you shake, more money you make. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree.
If
I had a buzzer, I would have dropped it.
So you went out there, you took advantage of this little relationship capital. You're obviously a cool dude because, you're just cool. So naturally you make friends probably more easily than others. What if someone's out there and they're just awkward ducks and they don't know how to make friends, introduce themselves, feel comfortable, be witty and charming and funny? Like, what do you say to them?
I still say, give it a go. I still say, give it a go.
Doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't matter. Listen, like you said, either you're going to love me or you're going to hate me. If you hate me, I'm never going to see you again. What do I lose?
Generally.
Yeah. You're going to forget about me if you hate me.
It is funny. I always tell people I'll start doing the speeches that I do in sweats and a tank top, or never tank top, t-shirt. Once I'm a billionaire. And the only reason is because, dude, I like looking sharp, and I think I'm a little bit older than you, so it's almost like, I don't know, I think I was just, maybe I need to unlearn that shit. But I've always said I'll dress like that and do that once I've hit $1 billion. But what's funny about that is, dude, I'm telling you, I've literally not been in an environment like that where I'm about to speak, but I've been in an environment where I don't have, because on the weekends, dude, I dress like that.
Yep.
Flip-flops, jeans, a t-shirt. The only thing on me that you can ever tell that I might be a little bit successful is my watch, because I'm a watch guy. So I have watches where, if you know watches, you already know that's probably 40, 50K right there. That dude's somebody. But a lot of people don't know the watches because they're not just, they're not Rolexes all the time. And dude, it'll be amazed how many people won't talk to you, won't reach out, won't shake your hand, won't give you the time of day, and they don't realize I could give them all jobs. I could probably change their freaking businesses by ordering and doing things with them. Everybody should be thinking, man, everyone you meet knows something you don't.
That's right.
Probably has some sort of connection or relationship capital that you could use.
Well, it's like I tell my kids, there's 6 billion people on the planet. If you count everybody to my daughters.
What happened to the other 1.5 billion?
Is there 7 billion now?
Yeah, it's close to 8.
Okay, 8 billion people.
I was
He
gonna
makes
say,
my story
damn, dude,
better.
did you kill 1 billion point something people?
I missed a region. I explained to them, dude, you may know a couple hundred people who actually have your back in this world. If you can expand that list,
yeah,
you
but
can truly,
maybe.
maybe. I'm saying maybe.
Dude, that's a lot. Like, dude, I would have said 5 that literally, actually have your back.
But we have a big family, both sides, got some people. So let's just say 100. If you can expand that list every day to more people who genuinely care about your success, your future, in some capacity of just affinity, love, whatever, why wouldn't you? What are you waiting for?
Look at that. I'll tell you why you wouldn't. Because you don't think you deserve it. Deep down, mentally, you're not aware of it, but you don't think you deserve it. You don't love yourself. There's no self-worth. That's why. I'll give you an example. Gallon of water. Drink a gallon of water every day, flushes out the toxins, flushes out the poisons, does a lot of good, hydrates you, does a lot of good. Agree or disagree?
Absolutely agree.
How come everyone doesn't do that? Everybody knows that.
Sure.
I've never asked anybody. They're like, really? Really? Like everyone says, of course, I know that. And I say, do you drink a gallon a day? They say no. Do you drink a gallon a day?
I don't. I should.
But you see my point?
I should.
Now, why is it that we don't do what we know is good for us? Deep down, here's my theory. Deep down, even you, even me, everybody, deep down in our subconscious, we don't believe we're worth it. There's something in your mind that you've done, whether it be you humped your freaking neighbor's dog or whatever you did sick and twisted. Your subconscious mind knows it, and it's over there saying, dude, you don't deserve, hydration and health. That's why, hey, Everbowl or Kentucky Fried Chicken? Let's hit Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's because, dude, you don't value your health, or you would hit Everbowl.
Yeah, or you don't think that it's possible for you. It's that insecurity.
Well, either you don't believe the fact, or you don't think you're worth it. Is my theory.
I support your theory
because it's like, do you believe a water is healthy? Yeah. How come we don't do it? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I've been studying this. I'd love to hear Meltzer's because he's kind of quantum and
he'll have perspective on that.
I think it's because deep down, subconsciously, so we're not aware of it, we don't believe we're worth it. Because I know that a gallon of water is good to drink every day. And sometimes I intentionally start out, I'm going to start drinking a gallon of water a day. And something makes me not do it. And it's stupid and it's irrational, but it seems like rationale, meaning I rationalize why I don't. I'm not thirsty, man. Sure. Come on. Dude, it's not going to kill me. And all of a sudden, I just don't drink it. Now, by drinking it, I would have done myself a wonderful thing, but I refused myself that wonderful thing. We do it all the time. Why do you think that is?
I think it's insecurity. I think it's this view that you see, like you said, why do everyone hate the Kardashians? Because they're not in that position. They want to be, and they don't see a path. So the easiest thing to make themselves feel better than to commit to say, hey, I'm going to make massive, meaningful change today. Because that's the beauty of life. Every day we start a new day, and you can change your life overnight. And I meet so many people who tell me this story about when I was this age, I was at the lowest point ever. And then look at where I went from there, because they recognize, and I think it's insecurity. I think it's that self-worth, as you said, or just another way of saying it. But when people own their future and realize that they can dictate tomorrow, you can build whatever life you want. It's up to you, the individual, and build the world that you want.
And see, I know that, and I think everyone knows that. They either don't believe that, or they don't think they're worth it to do so.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's self-worth, it's insecurity, and I think also it's this weird wall with hard work that in today's world, especially this idea that it's not hard work to get stuff. It's going to take hard work, but it's your life. You're the main actor or actress in your own movie, so it's kind of something that you got to take ownership of and and do. And once people, I think, start to see some results, because a lot of people will say, hey, I want to start drinking a whole bunch of water. And so they do. And let's say they do a day or two, and then they might feel lousy day 3 because they are flushing out those toxins, right? The byproduct of not doing that. Now they have this little bit of pain, this little bit of uncomfortableness. And so they quit. And the first sign of adversity, they quit, as opposed to saying, this is the time to double down. It's time to even go a step further because results are happening. It's talking about businesses, especially like when you plant a seed in the ground and you plant a tree or a fruit bush or whatever, the seed germinates. And so often it sprouts and it's coming, but it hasn't broke the surface yet. So us at the surface don't think the seed is growing. But really, they stop watering the seed and they move on. They think, it didn't work. But it was just about to break the surface, and all this growth happened below. And I saw even a picture you have with the iceberg, one of your posters in your office, which is awesome. And it talks about what you see above the surface and all the steps below. And it's that same saying, that same mentality.
What's funny is most people quit when the discomfort comes, and the discomfort is where the growth is. You go to the gym, lift weights. If it's comfortable, you're doing it wrong. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to go be comfortable and become a bodybuilder. You're not going to go be comfortable and get abs. You're not going to be comfortable and grow your muscle. It's just not going to happen. You have to have that discomfort. And with the seed analogy, same thing with starting a business. Okay. People start a business, and when the times get a little tough, they shut down, they start to freaking quit, they panic, and they leave, when in reality, the tough times is where the growth is. That's where the magic is.
And that's where opportunity is.
I always say, listen, the universe weeds out the undeserving through challenge and discomfort. So when you start a business and you're like, it's tough, you don't understand, dude, that's how the universe weeds out the pussies that don't deserve the freaking win.
That's right.
It's like, oh, you want to come try? Okay, here, let me throw a little at you. Boom. Let me throw a little at you. Boom. Let me throw a little at you. Pussies quit. They're done.
Well, if it was easy, everybody would do it too, right? So then
everybody would do it if it was easy,
and it wouldn't be. And then we'd be trying to do something else.
Because it's like Elon Musk. Everybody's all impressed. Why? What are they impressed by? Oh, he's trying to go to the moon. Who or Mars? Who the fuck wants to go to Mars, dude? Do you want to go to Mars?
Not really. No.
Well, what the fuck are we going to Mars for? No one would go anyway, except for a bunch of fucking nut jobs. So why doesn't Elon do something meaningful, like fucking make broccoli taste like chocolate?
Yes.
Or make a frickin' Big Mac be as good for you as one of your Everbowls, which is unevolving.
Yes, but singular.
Yeah, but you see my point?
I do.
If I had billions of dollars, I wouldn't be trying to head to the moon. What I'd try to do is figure out what makes our lives easier, and I'd just try to do what I'm doing now, which is I'd do more of it. Because my mission is to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. Because you know what I believe? I believe your circle is, because when I first started, I said, how do you go open up 25 locations, make millions of dollars in less than 3 years, which is freaking awesome. You've done it before. It's not like you'll do it again. Well, dude, it's because you're smart, man. You understand relationship capital. You're hanging around the Neil Patels, the David Meltzers, the Pat Flynn's. You're earning your way and your right to tap into their brain, and you're smart enough to do so. Now, I believe it's because you grew up around these people. I believe that. I didn't ask enough questions to know if that's true, but I answered my own question. Like, who the fuck is Jeff Fenster? And how in the hell did he get 25 locations? These are corporate owned. These aren't franchise.
Correct.
In less than 3 years, like that's almost like you're opening them up left and right. Like you must have had all the money ahead of time.
No.
Because, dude, that's a damn good job. That's a rate of expansion like nobody's business. And now that I'm talking to you, I'm thinking, okay, this is proof again. Dude, you're hanging around the right people. You're doing the right things. Everything I talk about on all these podcasts, if you go listen to the last 180 podcasts, take notes from every single one of them, I'll bet you've done a lot of the shit that I'm talking about or my guests are talking about.
Well, I think the principle is, I learned early on that the biggest culprit especially for young and not by age, but just by experience entrepreneurs is ego. And I had that problem. And I had this idea that I had to make every decision, and the decision had to be my idea. Otherwise I was a fraud in my own company, and all these stupid mindset issues.
Things you had to unlearn?
things I had to unlearn. Absolutely. And then I came up with my own personal business philosophy of being the dumbest guy in the room all the time. And if I pride myself on being intelligent and learning as much as I can and pushing the envelope and being disruptive, but I surround myself with rock stars and enable them to have their DNA injected into what we're doing and bring their expertise and learn from them. So take Everbowls, right? I opened the first one. It cost me way too much money, took way too long. And I was like, this is great. And Everbowl's meant to solve why we don't eat healthy, which I can get into after. But one of the key things was accessibility. You're not going to drive 30 minutes to an Everbowl, so I need to open them everywhere.
Well, you're not letting people inject their DNA into Everbowls, are you?
Of course I am. Of course. Not in that way, but yes, I am. and
See,
so
now David Meltzer's listening to this because obviously he's your buddy. He's going to listen to this, and David's rolling his eyes right now going, see, that's what's wrong with Brad. He can't just let a good thing be. He's got to ruin it with his freaking juvenile nonsense. Keep going.
No, yeah. So ultimately it was, well, we need to build these things cheaper and faster than anyone else has ever done it. And I don't know anything about restaurants.
But would you say that's, because to me, that's common sense. That's to me like, yep, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So people say, it's rocket science. How did he do it? Dude, you're using common sense a lot, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hey, if this is the case, we're going to need to do this. That's common sense.
KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Okay, keep going.
So I started a construction company and we named it We Build. And the whole purpose behind We Build was we build Everbowls. So let's figure out how we want to open 100 of these. We know the pieces. We know where we're going. So what do we need to do to build them cheaper and faster than ever before? And so we took a step back and said, and another thing is I think we always people tend to solve the problem that hits them first, whatever that first problem is. And I like to take a second and say, before we solve this problem and invest the effort and energy, is this the right problem to solve? Does solving this problem create another problem? Or is there other problem we can solve which would make this irrelevant?
Mm-hmm. There's another good point. Keep going.
So we looked at what IKEA did with the residential furniture space and said they can create residential furniture and make it to where I can create my own dining room set without needing any special tools and really quickly and inexpensively. So why don't we do something similar with Everbowl? So we did. So we palletize our stores. We fabricate and manufacture them off-site. And we can install them in under 2 weeks on site now. And it allows us to scale faster and cheaper than anyone else. And as a result, we now have this own new company with its own legs, and we get asked to do construction jobs now for other restaurant chains and other retail stores because they see what we're doing, and it gives us the ability to really grow exponentially. And we solved a business problem of what makes restaurants innately risky is they're capital intensive, and you don't know if it's going to work. So you spend all this money up front hoping it's going to work, and they say 9 out of 10 restaurants fail, and you just blew all this cash. Well, what if it didn't cost you very much? So now we can test it. And now we can test new markets. We can grow exponentially. I can build the brand that way. And then by building lots of stores, so the other people say, well, Jeff, you're worrying about that. Why don't you worry about lowering your cost of goods? Why don't you worry about better efficiencies and hiring and training and all the things to make the restaurants run better? And that's where answering the right problem. That's a problem for sure. If I solve this problem,
I can solve that for you.
You can. But if we answer this problem, then we're going to naturally solve some of those problems, because by opening more units, I have better buying power, which lowers my cost of goods. By opening more units, I have opportunity to hire employees, and they have a path to grow inside the organization, so they're more inspired. By opening more units, I have more staff members, so I have coverage. By opening more units, it allows me to invest in technology like something that's over here. And it could allow me to utilize that on a bigger platform. And we have over 500 employees in under 3 years. So it's great because we're getting to also impact the economy. We're getting to impact and expand our relationship capital, and now have this team and this army of people who are brand ambassadors for what we're doing going out there. So I don't have to spend as much money on advertising because I'm opening stores in every community. So naturally, instead of a billboard, I'm opening a store. And all these little things start to play off. So the construction was one of those things. So I'm not a construction guy. I could barely literally use a hammer. I'm not that guy. So I brought in our chief operating officer, Eric Hansen. He's the mastermind behind We Build, and he really solved that problem for us. And I had to get out of his way and let him do it. And so that was definitely something that my younger version of myself would not have done. My ego wouldn't have allowed it. And I probably wouldn't have gotten to that point. And so losing and dropping the ego and recognizing and priding myself on trying to be the dumbest guy in the room has allowed me to surround myself with great people, and I think attract, you talk about the universe, attract those people who have the relationships and the knowledge and the know-how. It's the joke about the plumber. Your pipes at home are all clogged up, and you're trying, and you use a plunger, and you do all these things. You call the plumber, he comes and he knocks one little corner with his wrench and says, that'll be $100. And you're like, well, wait, all you did was knock one little spot. He goes, no, I knew where to knock. That's the difference. And so you're paying for the knowledge, not the performance. So the last thing I'll touch on that is too often I find people confuse activity with productivity, and those are two different things. And so a lot of people spin their wheels and I spend 20 hours a day working and I do all these things. That's great. You're being active, but are you being productive? You should be able to take the shortcut. You should find the quickest path. In this world, you pay for results. And when you realize that, you have an elevator to the top.
How much does one of these cost?
So we can build a store today for under $50,000.
And what's an average store in a good location generate per month?
$650,000 to $75,000.
And is that gross?
Yeah.
And you're spreading health because it's all healthy food.
Correct.
Where's the recipes come from?
They come from, so we crafted our own recipe, so we have our own bases and our own SKUs, but then you get to create your own bowl. So the 4 problems we're solving, the 4 excuses why you may eat unhealthy today, if I can solve them, I'll get you to eat healthy every time. And it's either it costs too much to eat healthy, so we charge one price with unlimited toppings. It doesn't fill you up, so we give you a massive 24-ounce bowl like an extra value meal at a fast food joint. You won't like it. That's the 3rd excuse. So I let you create it. Whatever toppings you want, we're going to put them in there. So we know you like it. And the 4th one is you can't get it. So if I can give you something affordable, delicious, filling, and accessible, you'll choose the healthy option every single time. The reason you choose the Big Mac meal is because it's $8 or $9 for 1,500 calories. That leaves you full. It tastes good because it's loaded with salt and all this other shit that's not good for you. You can get them on every corner because McDonald's arches are everywhere. And those are the choices. So we're trying to answer those, and that's what Everbowl's meant to do.
And all these, there's no franchises?
Not yet.
But there will be?
There will be.
Why is there none in Vegas?
We're working on that. We got some pretty cool.
Who's we?
The team. Team Everbowl.
Got a little team?
Absolutely.
Well, what do you need? 50 grand? What do you need?
Yeah. 50 grand in a location.
That's it?
That's it.
So you're going to ship me the store. So what do I do? Just rent myself a room?
Yeah. Our smallest store are 630 square feet. Our largest are 1,200 square feet. And through what we're working on right now.
Sounds like a little baby area.
That's right. You don't need much.
How much a room is this, you think?
300-400 square feet.
So
we'll make an Everbowl here.
Yeah, can we?
Yeah.
I was gonna do an employee cafeteria because I'm gonna buy this building.
Okay.
I was gonna do an employee cafeteria here in a year or so. I'd just do an Everbowl.
Yes, you would.
And it wouldn't be for profit. It'd just be for
the staff.
Feed my employees some healthy shit.
And I'm going to show you how by doing that, you're going to solve problems you didn't even realize you're solving. They're going to have less sick days because their immune system's going to be strong. They're going to feel better about themselves. They're going to work harder because they're going to feel good, look good, and want to do good.
Mm-hmm. And I do believe that as well. I don't know. I know you said you've heard a couple dropping bombs, but sounds like you've been studying the shit out of them. That's good, though. No, I'm just messing with you. I know. See, this is what's funny is like success leaves clues. People will be like, dude, you just said something that I've heard someone else say. Who's copying who? Dude, success leaves clues. Mm-hmm. Like I can say something and you can hear it across the world. We've never met, but we both know the same thing. Why? Well, because success leaves clues.
And who cares?
The shit works.
First?
It's the shit works, dude. When I say it because I know it works. Where did I learn it? It may not have been from that person. I may have never heard someone ever say it, ever. However, it does work. Okay, so I say something, and then somebody says, who says that? Where'd you learn that? Who taught you that? Dude, sometimes I'm just telling you. You look around, the shit you're doing is the shit I did to do Lightspeed. Didn't even know it. Mm-hmm. I couldn't have wrote it down and told you what I did, but that's what I did. I bet you go look at anyone successful and you start mapping out what they do. It's the same shit. They're doing the same things as far as habits, beliefs, mindsets, perspectives, all of that.
And it works good and bad, right? Most people don't spend the time focusing on why successful people are successful. They just look at the result and say, I want that. And they think everyone's an overnight success because they don't know about you until you're successful. So,
or in shape. Like nobody sees those celebrities at the frickin' gym 2 hours a day, every single day. They just see them on TV when they're looking good.
Yeah, and they don't see them being starving at 10 o'clock at night and not going through the drive-thru. The sacrifices that they're making. They just see them on movie and go, yeah, I wasn't born with that body. Neither were they. Neither were they.
So, folks, if you guys want to try an Everbowl and you happen to be listening to this in SoCal, San Diego, hip hop, double
Arizona.
rock, where?
Or Arizona.
Tarzana, and Arizona. Everbowl.com. Instagram.com/Everbowl craft superfood.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Everbowl was taken.
Dude, where do they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Fenster Jeff. Last name, first name.
At Fenster Jeff.
At Fenster Jeff. I'm also on LinkedIn. Love to talk business and entrepreneurship. It's my drug of choice.
On LinkedIn?
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Where you at there?
I think it's just Jeff Fenster. Not sure what the short handle is, but I get hit up a lot there and love to talk and love to disrupt industries. And
dude, you're 3 Fs.
Yeah, it's a little tough when you put it together. And the problem is Jeffrey Fenster. There's a high level music executive who actually discovered Britney Spears named Jeffrey Fenster, who was recently as part of some
sex scandal.
Sex scandal. Yeah, exactly. So don't Google Jeffrey Fenster and think me. Google Jeff Fenster.
And if you do Google Jeff Fenster, he's not the sexual predator.
That's right.
Jeff Fenster.
But I might have found Britney Spears.
Well, back when Britney was Britney, dude, every kid in the world loved old Britney Spears, and I'll bet you anything, you interview her, you're going to find that she did the same basic shit we're talking about today. I have probably 200 episodes out there of dropping bombs. Even though they are, kind of concealed in humor and sophomoric stupidity and a dick joke now and again, the nuggets are there. The bombs are in there. If anyone literally just went and listened to every one of them and applied everything we talked about and wrote it down and did it with consistency, which is, again, some of the things we were talking about is, dude, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but it will happen. It's consistency. I have what's called the $1 million morning I'm working on. The $1 million morning. Okay. If I handed you $1 million, would you be pumped up for the day?
Absolutely.
Could anyone rain on your parade, get you in a bad mood for
Probably
pretty
not.
much nothing?
Probably not.
What about a week?
Probably not.
Maybe even a month.
Probably not.
Hell, some of us, maybe even the whole damn year. So $1 million. Now go to 10 or any amount of money. Man, $10 million. Would you be pumped?
Sure.
Everybody says, yeah. And then I think, well, let me ask you a question. What would you rather have, 10 million or life?
Life.
Everybody says life. Of course. I'd rather live than get $10 million. Okay, good. So if I'll hand you 10 million, you are so fired up, pumped up. You've never been that pumped up in your entire life. No one could rain on your parade. You'd have the most positive attitude. You'd be willing to share and all the good things. And you know and agree that life is worth more than that. And you would take life without even questioning. How come when we wake up in the morning and we get the news that we get another day, we just got life as if I just handed you 10 million? It is the exact same thing. You wake up, you open your eyes, and you realize, I just got life. How come we're not fired up? How come we're not shooting out of bed? How come we're not freaking so excited to live the day and freaking kick ass and go to work? People, I got to go to work. No, bitch. You get to go to work. Like, get excited, people. Mm-hmm. Every successful person I know says you got to have the right mindset. Do you get up early or late?
Early.
Every successful person I've ever met gets up early. Every single one of them. I've never met a freaking successful individual that gets up late. And I'm not talking about hasn't slept in, hung over, shit like that. I'm talking about on average, they get up early. Yep. Well, most people say, well, that's because they have stuff to look forward to. No, it's because they get up early that they have stuff to look forward to. Quit questioning shit, man. Look around and see what people are doing and copy what they're doing, emulate what they're doing, and I guarantee you will succeed as well. A like action causes a like result.
Like attracts like.
And it's like, folks, you just heard what I said. Stop your car, turn off the treadmill, jump up and down, scream Eureka. Yeah. Because you just realized something. And now you've got the keys to win. Now, 3 weeks later, when you're not winning and you wonder why, it's because you allowed your subconscious mind and your negative circle to make you believe that you are crazy and that you're wrong and you better stop your dreaming or you didn't do it long enough. Again, there's consistency, bro.
I would say stop your dreaming. You don't make shit happen when you dream because you're asleep. You got to wake up and actually just start doing. Plan when you sleep and do when you're awake, and quit dreaming, because too often we're spending our whole lives in our dreams.
I always tell people, man, you don't build your dreams on your back. Okay, but that's being semantics, or that's semantics, because when people generally say, chase your dream, I say you don't chase it, you build it.
That's right. Chase it, it's going to run.
Well, if you chase it, that means that indicates you're never going to catch it. You're chasing it. But follow your dream. No, that's kind of creepy. Okay, build the fucking dream. But you know what you do before you build it? You identify it. And most people can't do that.
Correct.
Most people cannot say, here is exactly what I want in life. Because if you can just identify what you want, dude, you can build it.
Yeah,
and if
backwards.
you can't, go find someone else who knows how to build it. Find someone who's built what you're looking for. That's called a mentor, a shortcut, a fucking owner's manual. Quit acting like everything's so difficult. Oh, well, dude, I'm from a neighborhood that does the, my parents weren't rich. Nobody handed me anything. I'm from Tanzania. Who gives a shit where you're from? I don't understand. Well, dude, you don't understand. Like, I'm from a small village out in the middle of frickin' Zimbabwe. Okay. I've seen people come out of villages like that win the Olympics, which means they can run like a motherfucker.
Yep.
So run your ass out the desert into a city and can relocate. Like, dude, trust me, it's going to be much more difficult selling, swimwear in the North Pole. So I didn't tell you that, there's not things that you should use such as common sense. Don't try to sell swimwear at the North Pole. Move. Sell blankets at the North Pole. Like, use common sense. But, dude, success leaves clues. Let's quit making it seem like it's difficult. And if Fenster can do it, dude, you seem like the dude back in high school and college that fucking drank beer and everybody wanted to hang around and you got all the chicks and nobody called you Jeff. They all called you Fenster, didn't they?
They did. Fenster or J-Fen. That was the nickname.
See, you're fucking Fenster.
Yeah.
And, dude, you're also the dude that they're looking for to sell stolen items. Oh, no, that's a fence. Or is it the Fenster?
That's a fence. It's also the guy from Usual Suspects.
Have you ever broken laws?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Have you ever?
Of course, I've done.
Have you ever done drugs?
I've done little things. Yes, I have.
What kind of drugs?
I've tried a few things in my day.
What kind of drugs?
Smoked a little bit of marijuana.
Just a little?
Let's call it a lot.
Well, now it's illegal. Or now it's legal.
No, I'd say, yeah.
You stopped smoking it?
No, I still smoke.
You still smoke weed?
I do.
Vape?
No.
Or flower?
Flower.
See, they never called it that before.
No.
It was the only thing. You got weed? I never expected you to pull out anything but flower. Did I just say butt flower?
You did say butt flower.
So nothing more than that. And besides that, dude, you're not as real as me, are you?
No, I'm kind of imaginary.
But you want to be like a little bit like, you don't want to say the truth. Like, I'll tell people the truth. People say, what brought you to Vegas? I say, bad acid trip. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah. But it's the truth. I tried acid. Big deal.
No, I mean,
I've got kids from different women. Big deal. It's explainable. Everything's explainable.
Sure. No, I would say to you that there was a time in my life that I was not health minded, and there was definitely a time in my life I was trying lots of things. I mean, shit, I grew up in the 90s and in the early 2000s, so back then you didn't have all this. Have all this crazy.
That seems like yesterday.
I'm sorry.
It does.
But
it's like, to me, it's like when
today.
people say I grew up in the 2000s, I'm thinking, fuck, I was already grown in the 2000s.
Yeah.
2000 when I started Lightspeed. When you started this
Everbowl
3 years ago?
October 2016.
And it's already 25 locations doing millions of dollars.
We just launched our coffee.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about the coffee.
Yeah. It's the world's
Super
first
coffee.
acai infused plus other superfood infused coffee line. It's called Everbowl Super Fuel Coffee. You can get it on Amazon or through our stores. And we're basically trying to...
Is it your equivalent of Dunkin' Donuts coffee?
It's better than Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Because it's healthy.
Because basically this is what I'm saying. You may not always get access to an Everbowl. You live in Vegas right now. You can't eat Everbowl. You may not want to eat superfoods. You're not ready to change your habits.
I am, though.
Okay, so let's take imaginary person X, Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny's not going to change his habits for all the reasons we just went through. He's not ready. He hasn't seen the light.
Hates himself.
Insecure,
he's worth it.
not excited to charge the day. So he's going to get up, he's going to drink that coffee and go to his work job that he hates. Well, drink my coffee because you're going to get the health benefits. Our unique selling proposition is you drink coffee anyway, So drink superfoods with your coffee. Get the antioxidants. Start being healthier.
Does
Be
it
your
taste
best
the
self.
same?
It tastes very similar. So we have one that tastes the same, and then we have two that are more flavored coffees. But 80% of people put creamers and shit in the coffee, so it's going to taste like that.
Only the cool kids.
Well, depends how you like your coffee.
I can't drink coffee unless there's freaking creamer in it.
There you go.
Like, dude, coffee tastes like ass.
Okay.
So it's a healthy superfoods coffee. You're going to drink coffee anyway. You might as well make it Everbowl Super Fuel coffee. Where do you get it online?
Amazon. And our website, superfuelcoffee.com.
Folks, go to Super Fuel Coffee. If you're a coffee drinker, that makes complete sense. Now, what's with the unevolved?
So unevolves are why.
Did you trademark that?
I did.
Damn, dude.
I did. So you can't steal
That's
it.
a good one.
You can. I'll sell it to you.
That's a good one. Unevolve.
Unevolve. It's a lifestyle. It's a choice. It's basically saying, hey, you know what? We're over-evolved in society with technology. Technology is great. It's letting us talk together and be in people's cars all over the world and on their phones and at the gym. But where it's bad is in our health. And we understand, like what you said, we all know if you drink a gallon of water every day, it's good for you. We all know what makes you healthy. Move your body and eat stuff that's been around forever. Your body knows how to consume it. And the analogy I use is if I took a spoonful of yellow 5, which is in all this junk food that we eat every day, and I put it in your car, you'll beat me up. You'll call the cops, and you'll literally have me thrown in jail because I put something in a $30,000, $100,000 vehicle. But we put it in our bodies every day. And so it makes us feel bad. We don't get good sleep. We don't have good skin. We're overweight. We don't look good. We don't feel good. So we don't do good. So start doing those things. So an unevolved lifestyle is getting back to living actively and eating stuff that's been around forever.
Folks, right there's all the value in the world. I don't know why you did that. Now, see, this thing dropped, so I'm wondering if I'm going to get too close to the microphone. Dude, that makes sense. I'm going to go get Everbowl Super Fuel Coffee from Everbowl.com or Amazon.com.
Amazon.com or superfuelcoffee.com.
Oh, Super Fuel.
Yeah, we don't sell it on
Coffee.
Everbowl.com because Everbowl is going to be the restaurants. But it's great, and I highly recommend you give it a try. It's cheap. It's basically $1 a cup, and you get to take control of your health, continue your coffee habit, which is good for you and is going to fire you up. And all of a sudden, you're going to get the antioxidants and, look younger, feel better, do better.
What are the main things that are in that coffee that'll fuel you up?
So acai is in all 3 of our SKUs. We have 3 flavors.
Acai is from the rainforest of Brazil.
It's from the rainforest of Brazil.
And if you don't harvest the acai correctly, it loses its potency.
Correct.
So how do you capture the acai potency from the rainforest to get it to your coffee?
Great question. Funny you should say that. So at Everbowl, we actually started our own import division. So we import our own acai and work directly with our partners in Brazil. And it's IQF frozen immediately, so it maintains its efficacy and all the benefits. And we ship it over to the United States.
See, how did I know this?
You're a smart guy.
Dude, I've
You've been dropping
around.
bombs.
Dude, I've been around. All I know is, like, a lot of times people don't understand. There's a difference in, let's call it claims. Hey, this is acai. Doesn't matter. It's acai. How is it packaged? How is it harvested?
That's right. And for us, we don't make claims. Our simple methodology is we're going to feed you stuff that's been around forever. And Unevolve is the lifestyle. It's a lifestyle choice. And we are on Team Unevolve. And I'm going to promote an Unevolve lifestyle for you. Take the stairs.
Does anybody know where to get these?
The Ever seeds?
Yeah.
So he's referring to the bracelet. The seeds, the acai seeds that we turn into jewelry, and we sell them in our stores soon online and on Amazon, but not yet. And it's just a way to give back and make sure it's sustainable and give back to the both the environment as well as the communities with which we are taking some product and buying it from them. And it's kind of a full circle. And from these kind of fun little humanitarian things and ways to give back, we're also creating more opportunity.
You're all about opportunity, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Why is that?
Because walls hurt when you run into them.
Well, you heard about the fish that was swimming through the water and hit his head on a piece of cement and said, damn. Now, let me ask you another question.
Is it cement?
After all, cement. Dam. It was the dam.
Okay.
So let me ask you, after all said and done, how many Everbowls do you want in this world?
I want them to be in every country that has retail locations. I want them coast to coast. But our true goal is to be nationwide by the end of 2025. With over 1,000 locations in the United States, and then continue to proliferate ourselves outward, because if I can help people be their best self, it's going to translate even from their health, but it's going to translate to their professional self. They're going to feel better about life. They're going to seize the day. They're going to wake up early with us, and it'll be a great, great situation.
Now, if you could have anybody follow you, would you rather have them follow Instagram, Everbowl, Craft, Superfood, or yours?
Well, I'm going to start with Everbowl because I want you to be your best self.
Okay, but listen, let me just teach you something, youngster.
Okay. Educate me.
Whenever the outcome is positive, like, would you rather have a Lamborghini or a Ferrari? Would you rather have a house, beach house,
Both.
or a mountain house? It's always both. Just taught you something, son. And all the listeners, never choose just because some asshole tells you to choose. Would you rather have them follow you on Instagram at Everbowl or both, bitch, both. That's where. And if you guys go follow me, which I'm pretty sure most of you probably already are, I'm posting something right now that will get old Fenster, JFen, identified. Everbowl Everbowl Craft.
Yeah, you got it.
Superfood.
And whoever owns the domain Instagram handle Everbowl, without all that, I would love to buy it from you.
Is it this one with the looking like?
Yeah.
All right, folks, just go follow me if you aren't smart enough to figure it out. Follow him at Fenster Jeff or at Everbowl Craft Superfood. If you guys are in Southern California, man, go support this dude. He's a cool dude. Not to mention, he'll probably shake your hand. He believes in relationship capital. He knows someone walking in his store could probably be responsible for opening up 75 more stores or your next deal, because this ain't your only deal.
No.
You got a We Build company. You got a coffee company. You got freaking shit going on like you wouldn't even believe. Recruiting agency. Are any of these still actively yours?
The recruiting agency, no. The We Build, the CPG or the coffee business, Everbowl, and our import business and our jewelry line, yes.
Who makes these?
Locals in Brazil, local families that are not able to make a living. So they take what would be trash and turn it into jewelry, and we buy it from them so they can be supported and we can continue to expand the unevolved lifestyle. You know what's crazy is the other day I was thinking Rio, like Brazil, I was thinking, man, that's clear over by Australia. When in reality, it's just south of the Americas. It's part of the Americas. Folks, if you guys want to eat healthy, I would highly recommend Everbowl. I might figure out a way to get like literally one of the franchises here. I'll bet you this is going to be one of them big ass franchises. I would hope so. There's bowls here, like bowl, I forget what they call them, but they're, bowl type companies. And dude, the food's good. They taste good. They're healthy. What about that? What the hell is it called? It might be an acai bowl. It's got granola and coconut and freaking all this bananas. Is that an acai bowl? I mean, if it has acai in it, yes. If it doesn't, so the acai is the dark purple stuff. It's the berry. Now, is there any freaking sugar in those? So acai naturally has no sugar, but almost every acai bowl chain you go to or shop adds a sweetened acai because they think they need to throw all that sugar in so you'll really like it. We don't. We use raw, organic, unsweetened acai. And so the answer is there shouldn't be. Well, I want to taste a real one, what it should taste like, because, man, those acai bowls are good. Yes. And, I would rather have those sometimes than anything, even a healthy meal. Like, they're good. It tastes like dessert. It is a healthy meal. What's that? It is a healthy meal. Well, yours is. Yes. The one down here down the street, because they got an acai bowl there. That's more like a yogurt or an ice cream. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Like, it tastes so good. Is there sugar in it? Because if it's sugary, dude, it's not necessarily healthy just because it says acai bowl. You should ask. You should say, hey, are you using unsweetened or sweetened acai? Get the answer. And if they say we sweeten it, boom, leave it alone. Or decide you're having dessert today. Or do you say, or face facts? Yes, own it. What if I say, do you guys sweeten your acai? And they say no. The rest of the thing, do I have to ask, is there any sugar in this shit? Do you know sugar causes cancer, or at least contributes? I do. Sugar's not a good thing. It's not. So if places are putting sugar into your food on purpose so it tastes better because they're afraid you won't buy it if it doesn't taste good, if you ask me, they shouldn't be selling the shit, knowing full well it's going to give you cancer. That's right. So Everbowl, folks, no sugar. And you can start with Super Fuel Coffee if you don't live in Southern California or Arizona, and try us, and then guess what? We'll come visit you and open a store. Dude, old J-Fan wouldn't steer you wrong, dude. Absolutely You wouldn't hoodwink somebody, would you? No, sir. Right? He's helping the locals down in Brazil out in the middle of the rainforest by buying their
acai seeds, bracelets, and then you're up here retailing everybody. What are these, $700?
$3.
$3?
I just want to move them.
You're just recouping your cost?
Pretty much.
Dude, you're a good dude. Hey, go check him out on Facebook.com/Everbowl. Folks, remember, go rate and review this podcast. Now, Fenster, if you could give any entrepreneur listening 3 things that if you could start over, you had to learn the hard way, or you made a few mistakes, cost yourself some money, took longer than it should have, whatever the case is. And you don't have to answer right away. Take a good second and think.
Okay.
What are the top 3 things that you would go back or wish you knew when you started that you would do different than you've done?
First one, lose the ego. Second, when nothing's going right, go left. Third, you don't need experience to start your own company. You're going to learn on the fly. Go get the shit done. While everyone else is worrying about making sure it's perfect, just start hustling. You'll figure it out.
Dude, those are good actually because too many people want to read, go to these seminars, these workshops, these gurus, these courses, and I'm telling you, dude, I've spoken at a lot of these events. The same people are at all the events, and they're in the same position they were 2 years ago. And I'm always like, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, man, nice to see you. What's going on? And they're like, nothing. Can I get a picture with you? And I'm like, sure. And I mean, like, what's going on? They're like, oh, nothing, man. Just freaking listening to you guys. And I'm thinking in my head, dude, how many of these do you need to go to before you start?
That's right.
Like, I understand you went to a few, and I think you should go and network at all of them if that's your business.
Sure.
But what you just said is more important, man. Folks, you don't need experience. I was not in technology when we started this. I just started. See, again, this is my point. You just started. I'll bet you there's a lot of people out there that it just started. A lot of times things will reveal themselves as long as you're on the road. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine's, I forget if it's his uncle or a family friend or whatever, but he needed to get a bunch of people from one place to another. So he went and rented a bus. And he brought those people from one place to another, and he rented the bus for himself because he needed to get there. And they told all the other people that needed to get there, hey, pay me, and you can ride the bus with me. So they did it. Next thing you know, he had so many people wanting rides, he had to get another bus and another bus and another bus and another bus and another bus. And I don't think it was Greyhound, but it was like a charter bus service, a very, very big one. The guy's a billionaire. Yeah. And he had no idea how to operate a bus company. One of the rental car companies, same story. Everbowl. You've heard of Everbowl. One of the most prolific franchises ever in the history of the world.
It's
outdid
incredible.
Subway.
Who hasn't heard of Everbowl?
Hey, outdid Subway. Okay? That dude, Jeff Fenster, just started it. He didn't know a damn thing about freaking acai.
Or restaurants or construction or any of it.
He just got going. The second one you said, say it again.
The second one I said was, I got to remember what order I gave them to you in.
You said the first one. Damn, see, I was writing the first one. Then I was talking about the third one. I forgot the second one, but
I think the second one I said was...
Oh, it was a good one, too.
Yeah, it was. It was ego.
Let go of your ego. Ego ain't your amigo, friends. It's you create an ego to protect your actual self-image.
I said when nothing's going right, go left.
Oh, yeah, that's it. When nothing's going right, go left. That one I want you to explain.
Sure. Everyone gets caught up in when shit doesn't go their way because everyone has a plan, and Mike Tyson's quote is the best. Everyone has a plan until they get popped in the mouth.
Well, he said punched in the face.
He does, but I wanted to kind of coin it a little bit myself.
It was good. Popped in the mouth.
Yeah. And too often that stonewalls people, and they get stuck. And it's like, well, you know what? If you do what everyone else is doing, you're going to get the same results everyone else is getting. So if nothing's going right, go left. Find another way. Opportunity is created from another failure. One door closes, another opens. Just do it.
So mine's similar to that. Here's what I say. There ain't nothing right with my left brain, and there ain't nothing left of my right. Folks, go out there and rate this podcast. A lot of people need to hear this. There's people stuck. There's things not going right for them. And Jeff Fenster, proud founder and CEO of 25 locations of Everbowl, has just laid out and dropped bombs all over this bitch. Jeff, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure.
Next time you come in, dude, come by. We'll drop some more.
I'm going to bring some bowls, too, and some coffee.
I'd love to taste a bowl that has no sugar so I know if it's what it tastes like. But I'm going to ask next time, out of all the superfoods, is acai the best?
It's not necessarily the best, but it has one of the highest contents of antioxidants, which will keep you young and fight free radicals. And it's one of the ones that everyone's after.
Until next time, kids.